do also want to let everyone know that we will have a dedicated Q&A session at the end of the presentation. So although we welcome you to anytime use the chat feature or the Q&A button on your screen to type in a question, we will be saving all answers for the end of the presentation. With that, I will go ahead and turn it over to Denise, who again is our RealCare Product Manager and Curriculum Specialist.
Thank you, Emily, and welcome everybody to today's webinar on new ways to teach human development. Now today we're going to take a closer look at how you can use experiential learning tools and activities to help teach human growth and development across all stages of the lifespan. And we'll go through the various stages of human development, talk about a few lesson ideas, and also resources that are available for each. Now here's a little bit more about Realityworks for those that are new to us. We are an experiential learning company in approximately 67% of school districts in the US, and we're in over 90 countries worldwide. Now we focus on providing hands-on resources like simulations, models, and training tools for a variety of career and technical education pathways. And we also partner with many national organizations in the CTE area as well. So part of our strength is that we offer a comprehensive learning solution to educators with our products. So we include a standards-based curriculum, easy-to-use instructions on integrating the learning aid into the lesson, and student activities and assessment pieces that engage students in the learning process. So our products are developed with hands-on learning in mind. From our RealCare Baby and Total Parenting Experience to brand new welding and egg programs, we help teachers create those lasting educational and experiential learning opportunities. So let's begin by taking a closer look at our students today. What do we know about today's learner? Well, we know they want to do something. They want feedback and they want it now. And they are more sophisticated than ever using technology in their learning. And if you look at some of the statistics on the screen, these are really just amazing. For example, the 84% of the 12 to 17-year-olds that own one or more personal media devices, again, great multitaskers. So why hands-on learning tools? Well, here's just a few compelling reasons. Students read less and prefer active hands-on learning. They want to be successful, but will disengage from the learning if they don't see the relevance. They know the what and love to learn the how, but rarely grasp the why until they're out in practice. So consider teaching them from the inside out. Answer the why question with evidence-based reasoning before teaching the how. They want to know how to apply concepts to real life, and this will ensure it. So just how do we teach this generation? Well, we need to modify what we've been doing. So get rid of those 50-minute PowerPoints, or if you have to use them, incorporate things like quizzes, activities, and hands-on demonstrations every few slides. Provide them with more than just a textbook. Things like videos, online activities, group work, and models work very well with this group. Try to use a variety to keep their attention and give them an experience. Be flexible in your teaching methods and the way you communicate with this group of students. So how do you use hands-on learning to engage students specifically in human development topics? Well, let's begin first by defining human development. We're going to define it as referring to the overall growth and changes that occur over a person's lifespan from conception to death. Now, the developmental stages are broken down into categories based on age and developmental level. So the lifespan stages of human development are prenatal development and birth, infants and toddlers, the play years, the school years, adolescence, early adulthood, middle adulthood, and late adulthood. So as you teach this, you'll cover things like physical, cognitive, and social changes and how people experience these changes. Realityworks can provide many hands-on experiential learning opportunities as you teach various stages across the lifespan, and that will be our focus today. So the first stage of human development to consider is conception. Now we have the embryonic development model, which consists of 13 parts. It illustrates the process of human fertilization and the development of early embryos to that 4th week. Now, in this case, you'd pass it around and have students take a closer look. This is just one way to provide that hands-on learning we spoke about. Other available resources include a video showing the process of conception and key vocabulary flashcards to help students understand terminology involved at this stage. Now, when we look at prenatal development, there are many resources available to give your students a window into the womb during prenatal development. Many of you may also already be using the Pregnancy Profile Simulator, along with the lessons found in Understanding Pregnancy that help students, quote, walk in the shoes of an expectant mother in that third trimester of pregnancy. Now, this is the chance for your students to do something, as we spoke of earlier. Participants feel what it's like to be pregnant, experiencing that part of human growth and development. While students can feel and experience those physical symptoms of pregnancy, they also can get a glimpse into what is happening in utero. So things like our fetal development kit, which include 10 models going from the normal uterus through each stage of fetal development, can be passed around and looked at up close. The pregnancy torso provides a vertical cross-section of the female pelvis during that 9th month of pregnancy. And it gives students a great visual of a full-term fetus that's ready to be delivered. Now, the lessons included in each of these curricula focus specifically on prenatal development. It also focuses on those physical changes happening to the pregnant mother. Now, here's a lesson idea we'd like to share. This is a fun way to get students to understand fetal development, meaning size of the fetus, month by month, and that's using comparable everyday objects. Students are amazed when they see some of these objects for a comparison. Now, it's really awesome to think about some of the young preemie babies who survive now at 6 to 7 months and just how tiny they are when you think, 6 months average size, a 1-foot ruler on your desk. So I put these on the slide today just to show you how fun and easy it is to find these everyday objects, many of which you probably already have in your classroom or easily found on hand. You can bring in and show your students. So this is just one fun way of doing prenatal sizing. Here are some resources and lessons on making good decisions during prenatal development to ensure the most healthy outcome for newborn infants. The fetal alcohol syndrome baby and drug-affected baby are things that can be seen, touched, and heard. This experience engages multiple senses and is much more memorable than just death by PowerPoint. Students learn that these conditions are completely preventable. Now, emphasis is placed on how substances travel from the mother to the baby in utero during development and what can happen if a good decision is not made. Prenatal development can be irreversibly impacted by drug and alcohol usage during pregnancy, and this lesson analyzes the influence that this usage can have on infant growth and development. Now let's talk about birth. We have a birth model set. It has 3 different models or pieces, and we also have a birth process kit, which is a set of 6 life-size models that give students a realistic 3D representation of the stages of birth. The curricula that comes with these models has a lesson on the birth process, focusing specifically on the 3 stages of labor, ending with the birth of the baby and the placental delivery. Now, there's also information shared about postpartum depression. Now, this is really a great alternative for showing realism without using a birthing video that maybe or have too much realism for some of your students. Here's another lesson idea. Now, here's an activity you can do after students have learned about those stages of birth. You can use different birth scenarios where students would read the scenario, then they have to quote, diagnose what stage of labor it is, 1, 2, or 3, and how they would handle that scenario. You could also use scenarios to introduce things like complications or unexpected events and have your students really have to think and problem solve all of those different scenarios. The next developmental stage is infants to preschool, usually 0 to 3. RealCare Baby can provide hands-on, up-close experience in this stage of infant care. Now, the most helpful resource that comes with RealCare Baby for teaching human growth and development at this age is our basic infant care lessons on infant and toddler development. So some of the lessons teach things like how to identify physical, intellectual, emotional, and social development of infants and toddlers. Some of the lessons get into the importance of play for a child's growth and development. Teach you how to respond appropriately to infants and toddlers based on their developmental abilities, and they identify things like appropriate toys for children at various stages of development. We have another curricula that you have access to with RealCare Baby. It's called the Parenting Curriculum, and it includes lessons on the influence of nurturing, attachment, and brain development. The infant care practice you get in the simulation experience with RealCare Baby will really help increase the understanding of how important it is to nurture infants. Again, students have an experience to do something and receive immediate feedback as part of it. And this is very much all to their liking. Now, there are also lessons on the value of recreation and play, specifically on the development of young children. Things like early literacy and language development are included, and students learn about things a parent can do to improve language development. Now, know the qualities of a good book for babies, and also how to have a conversation with an infant using the critical elements of talking to a baby. By dramatically depicting how an infant's brain is affected by just a few seconds of shaking, another RealCare product called the Shaken Baby Simulator and included curricula help increase awareness of the dangers of shaken baby syndrome and child abuse on development. So we know that shaken baby syndrome can severely impact an infant's growth and development and can even kill a baby. So it's very important for students also to be aware of that topic on infant growth and development. Now, here's another lesson idea we'd like to share with you. Having students observe real children is a great firsthand experience. You could ask people you know, perhaps even other teachers, to bring in infants, toddlers, or preschoolers. Now, set up a play area in the classroom with age-appropriate toys and activities, and then let them loose to play and have students silently observe and take notes. Now, leave time for questions with parents at the end. Parents are a great source for discussing developmental milestones with their children and when those milestones are reached. You may be surprised to discover that we have a very robust curricula targeting young people from puberty through late teens. Now, we wanted to make sure we mentioned this because many instructors think of us as the baby company. So I'd like to highlight some of the resources and assets that are available that address this age and stage of human development. Our Human Reproductive Systems Kit has a focus on physical changes to young people, male and female, during puberty. You could use the sperm development model and the ovary development model to show students a highly magnified representation of how male and female reproductive systems mature during puberty, getting ready for reproduction as an adult. Now, the interactive key vocabulary cards that come with it are a fun way to get your students to build an appropriate vocabulary of terms as they learn about growth and development during adolescence. Now, the key here is interactive, engaging, and fun. Here's a lesson idea. Tap into the fact that your students are in the midst of their own growth and development during this stage. Take the opportunity to have class-wide discussions about the physical, emotional, and social growth that they are experiencing. You can even use this as an opportunity to ask more personal questions that they can journal about. Now, there's no need to read about examples at this stage. They are living it. So really tap into that and take advantage. For activities that focus on relationships, our Life Skills and Healthy Choices for Middle School Students curriculum has information on physical, emotional, social, and intellectual development during puberty. Some of the activities in the lessons that specifically deal with human development are a list of changes during puberty and adolescence, focusing again on the physical, mental, emotional, and social components. There's a human reproductive systems slide presentation. There's also a healthy relationships and effective communication strategies lesson. The curricula culminates in the simulation experience with students analyzing the effect of a life event such as a teen pregnancy just on their development and what it would do. We also have activities that focus on sexuality and sexual decision-making in adolescence. The Healthy Choices, Relationship, Sexuality, and Family Planning curriculum is designed as a comprehensive sex ed curriculum for high school students. Topics like peer pressure speak to the impact on the emotional and social growth and development at this time in their life. A lesson on the influence that media can have on an individual's growth is included as well. Communication, self-esteem, and healthy relationships are explored, and discussions regarding the impact of these on the social and emotional development teens are had. Students actually role play various scenarios to learn things like refusal skills and how to positively handle peer pressure. During the simulation experience, students analyze the impact of a pregnancy on relationships, finances, and their daily life. Now, in addition to this curricula, we have the Understanding Pregnancy curriculum, which comes with our pregnancy profile simulator, and it has a focus on the life goals of the student. So students here identify education and career goals. They analyze what a life event like a teen pregnancy would do to those goals. Students then can break the cycle of teen parenting and learn how to set realistic and achievable goals for themselves. Now, there's a lesson on the role of the father and the impact that that relationship has on the growth and development of the child. Now, we now offer ready-to-use workbooks for the My Life scrapbook activity found in this Understanding Pregnancy curriculum. So rather than printing hundreds of pages, this take-home resource can be ordered from your store for your immediate use. Now let's focus on the parenting years of adulthood. This is the next stage of human development. We'd like to point out available Realityworks resources that are available for. So as an adult who also becomes a parent, this can have an enormous impact on the growth and development of your children. Let's take a closer look at the lessons and information that relate to this stage of human development. Now, our parenting curriculum that accompanies the RealCare baby has several lessons that speak to the influence and impact of parents on the development of the child. For example, there is a parenting styles lesson where students take a self-quiz and they discover which type of parenting style most closely matches their own. This makes learning very personal. They're introduced to the 4 parenting styles and the impact each could have on the child's development. Now, in another lesson on the impact of childcare and daycare on children, students are tasked to debate one side or the other, pro or con, for daycare. Students learn it's important for parents to choose, high quality childcare and to stay involved. Research shows that high quality childcare and early education can boost children's learning and social skills when they begin school. The basic infant care curriculum includes lessons on caregiving skills parents need to have when caring for an infant, as well as a robust health and safety unit. So students learn how to provide a safe environment in order to have a positive impact on the growth and development of their child. Similarly, we have the choking baby and the CPR baby that you see on the screen there, which includes safety skills that parents should know in order to ensure that they can provide a safe environment for an infant in their care. These simulators allow hands-on practice of these skills, leading to mastery. So in this case, students are learning by doing. Here's another lesson idea. It's difficult for middle school and high school students to remember their own toddler or preschool years. So they may also find it difficult to try to understand and relate to what it's like to be a parent of a child of any age. So setting up a role-playing scenario is a great way for students to act out specific developmental stages. For example, you could assign a scenario in which a student can act as a toddler and another student can be the parent. The requirement is that the actors must act the scene out appropriately to the developmental age of their role, then switch. You can use this approach to role play any developmental stage. And kids, or I should say, students love to tap into their acting skills. So that's one I highly recommend that you do, again, for any stage of human development that you're teaching. What about late adulthood, aging adults? This late adulthood stage of human development means common aging. Now, the Geriatric simulator helps students analyze the impact of aging on many aspects of human growth and development. Wearing the simulator enables participants to experience many common physical conditions of aging, including visual impairment, a restricted range of motion, decreased mobility and stoop posture, loss of sensations in the hands, joint stiffness, a general loss of strength and fatigue, change in body image, a decreased sense of balance, and even confusion. Now, the goal here is to build increased sensitivity and understanding to what older adults go through as they age. They're experiencing the physical development for themselves. Now, a few tasks we include in the curriculum are common things like tying your shoes, perhaps reading a newspaper, opening a door, putting on a belt, combing your hair, putting on a jacket, opening a pill bottle. And we recommend, if possible, to have groups of students wear it at the same time if you're able to have multiple simulators. Groups tend to enrich the experience and make the discussion deeper as students are experiencing the effects at the same time, and they're able to compare how it feels. Now, the curriculum that comes with the Geriatric simulator includes information on many areas of physical growth and development during this stage of life, including, again, visual impairment, declining mobility due to aging, the impact of aging specific to bones and joints, hearing loss, cognitive changes with aging, and amazing aging, healthy lifestyle as we age. So the lessons actively integrate the Geriatric simulator into those lessons. And many of the lessons also connect the impact of aging on emotional, social, and intellectual development as well. So here's a lesson idea. If a geriatric simulation suit is currently not in your budget, here are a few easy, quick, low-fidelity ideas for helping students develop compassion for the elderly. Now, do-it-yourself challenge stations that use basic household items can help students understand what it's like to be an aging adult. For instance, your first station could be hands. They could wear several pairs of thick gloves while writing, tying a shoe, buttoning your shirt to simulate conditions, or even wearing thinner gloves while filling pill bottles or placing small items like coffee beans into jars, which can simulate impairments like arthritis, loss of dexterity, or restricted range of motion. You could set up a second station, which could be for the eyesight. You could have them wear glasses smeared with things like soap or Vaseline to simulate cataracts. They could wear glasses with the wrong prescription, or even wearing sunglasses indoors to simulate things like macular degeneration or glaucoma. A third station would be a full-on body station where they do things like breathing only through a straw, wearing ankle weights or ace bandages, back braces, using canes and walkers that can simulate mobility challenges like fatigue, loss of strength, and restricted range of motion. Now, you can extend the experience with a trio of brand new simulation experiences from Realityworks. Our Geriatric Sensory Impairment Kit includes a hearing impairment simulator, an arthritis simulator, and a hand tremor simulator. First of all, the hearing simulator gives you a chance to see what it's like to live with tinnitus. You know, that high ringing noise in your ears. Also high frequency hearing loss and general hearing loss. In fact, there's even a dementia component with some unintelligible, confusing sounds as well. The tremor simulator will give you the experience of a Parkinson's-like tremor and what that does to daily activities with your hands, such as eating, writing, dressing. Our arthritis simulator has a wearable apparatus for each hand that replicates moderate to severe arthritis, making it difficult to do things like writing, grabbing, twisting, pinching, or just using your hands in general. Each of the simulators comes with a curriculum lessons that integrate using the experiential learning tool in your classroom. So there are many places you can go also to find free resources to use for your lessons on human growth and development. Now, here are just a few examples that we found online within a very short time of searching. We found Discovery Education has free lesson plans. We also know that YouTube has many free videos on a wide variety of topics. Pinterest is just loaded with supplemental ideas you can use to add to your existing resources. So if you haven't used any of those, we recommend highly that you just get out there and search and try a few things and generate new ideas. We also have a Realityworks blog that features a lot of different information and guest writers, and we frequently put new content out on the blog, so we recommend that you also try that out as well. So now what? We've given you a lot of information. First, what you could do is go to our website at realityworks.com, and you could take a look at some of the free assets available. First of all, we do have sample lessons on our website for all of the products that we spoke about today. So if you're wondering a little bit more about how those tools could be used, go ahead, print out the sample lessons, and maybe you'll find some things you could try right away in your classroom. We also have dozens of archived webinars on a wide variety of topics that can be found on our website under our product support, and you'll see a webinar button there. And if you scroll down, again, you'll see just dozens of webinars on many topics relating to human growth and development. And if you've seen anything today that you'd like more information on, you can certainly contact your account manager at information@realityworks.com.
All right, well, thank you, Denise. With that, we're going to turn the presentation over to questions. If anyone has any questions or concerns about the information that Denise presented just now, go ahead and use either that chat button on your screen or the questions and answers button. I do see we have a few here. Let's see, Jeanette is wondering, in order to access the lessons on the stages of pregnancy, and any of the lessons for this matter, is it necessary to purchase the models and the simulators and the wearables? That's a good question, Denise.
To access the full curricula that we spoke about, yes, it is part of the package with the products, the simulators, and the models that we spoke about. However, again, I would point out that we do have a sample from each of those curricula out on our website, so product page. So please go there, and if you like what you see, you may wish to purchase the entire program.
Mm-hmm. That is part of that comprehensive experience that you spoke about in the beginning, that we really pride ourselves on creating the models plus that comprehensive curricula together in one. Brian is wondering if will we be addressing teaching 11 and 12-year-olds about human growth and development in regards to their personal changes, physically, socially, and emotionally.
And yes, the curriculum that I spoke about that we have specific to middle school students, the title is Life Skills and Healthy Choices for Middle School Students, and it is written for that age group specifically. And some of the lessons in that curriculum do speak to those physical changes, social, emotional, all of those kind of things. So if you're really interested in that, you can purchase that curricula only on our website store.
Perfect. Okay. Thanks, Denise. And it looks like one person did say, unfortunately, their sound on their end is cutting out. If you can hear us right now, we will absolutely be emailing everyone a copy of the recording again, so you can watch this anytime. With that, gosh, I don't see any other questions. A few great ones. Thank you very much for submitting a question. If anyone else has any other questions or concerns that you think of that you would like to ask, our contact information is on the screen in front of you. Again, you will be receiving a copy of the presentation and a link to that recording, and you can of course reply to that email as well with any questions or concerns. Thank you again otherwise for taking the time to attend today's presentation. We really appreciate it.